I'm Stephanie Alexander, and I'm the founder of the Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Program. We started a first pilot in 2001, and here we are celebrating 20 years of amazing activity and achievement. The first kitchen garden program started at Collingwood College, and it was spurred on by reading and understanding about Alice Waters' school in Berkeley, California. I thought this was a great idea because I had become very disappointed that the public talk about food and children was all couched in negatives, and nobody talked about what a wonderful world there was of food and flavour and growing and sharing, and that's what I wanted to try. I think that learning how to live a good food life is one of the most accessible ways that anybody, child or adult, can bring joy into their life. We have to eat. We may as well do it with joy. We need to care for the planet by showing respect for ingredients and broadening our understanding of what can be done with those ingredients is a great thing. I believe most certainly that if this was available to every child in Australia, we would be developing a generation of young people with a better understanding about flavour, with a better understanding about there always being more than one way of doing something, with a much better understanding of the environmental importance of caring for the planet, and we would be giving them enormous pleasure and the skills to be independent for the rest of their lives. Over the last 20 years, I have visited hundreds of schools. Some of them have been very tiny, some of them have been huge. Some of them have taken me to the most extraordinary places in this country. And in these schools, I find children who are delighted with what they're learning, delighted with what they're tasting, and really full of energy as they build their edible gardens. The students are responsible for developing their own garden. They plant, they love digging, they build supports, they care for chickens, they turn the compost, they learn how to trim and prune, and of course they gather their crops when they're ready, and then they take them into the kitchen. Now in the kitchen they learn quite specific skills of how to handle a knife safely so they can get their knife license. They learn how to chop and stir, so quite specific cookery skills, but at the same time they learn about flavour and about different ways of cooking the same ingredient. They might have a big crop of red peppers or eggplant, and they will go cook those week after week, but in different ways. They love to make pasta. They love to grate cheese, and all of these skills are there for life. I know that the children go home and talk about what they've done, and often they quite impress their families. I can see them becoming really careful citizens, as well as somebody who appreciates the joy of lovely food. And of course the other thing they learn, which is for many kids a new experience, is the joy of sitting with other people around a table and sharing what you have actually made.
I love the Kitchen Garden program because I have the best job in the world. Having children in here and seeing the smiles on their faces when they get to cook green pizza, it's just awesome. That's it for me. I love the smiles on the children's faces and how excited they get to be able to come in here and work with me in the mornings.
The fabulous thing about the program, it draws in so many other elements, like we've been able to talk about bush tucker and create gardens that are now our bush gardens.
All the students absolutely love coming down to the garden. I mean, any student, whether they're cooped up inside all day, are going to get a little bit restless, and what we find here with our students, that they come down, they be part of the garden program. Some will just want to do some watering, some will want to do some composting, some will do a few different jobs, but the students' moods change dramatically when they get down here and they really want to be part of it.
It creates a lot of interest for the students. There's always something that they can do and be involved in, so it gives every student an opportunity to shine in a different area. Gives them a lot of life skills. The kids learn how to work together as a team. gives them lots of opportunities to like explore and work things out, problem solve. It's also a good well-being program as well.
Well, it's a really collaborative, bonding, rich, nutritious experience for everybody. We get parents in, we get grandparents in, we have the children contributing, staff members. Yeah, it's basically a really holistic way of learning and being in the school.
I like pulling out the weeds and planting new plants and flipping over the soil. I love that you can always hang out with your friends and it's really fun.
I've learnt how to grow food, how to grow peanuts, and how to cook some of my favourite dishes. I have the opportunity to learn how to grow my own food, so when I'm older, I have them important life skills.
I like the cooking and garden classes because we get to do so much fun activities out here in the garden and inside in the cooking area.
I've learned how to grow a lot of vegetables, plants, and a lot of fruits. We have been growing spinach, pumpkins, zucchinis, carrots, chives, bananas, and we did have passion fruits.
I love it all. There's nothing that I can specifically say that I love it, because it's all just amazing to see, just to be with your friends and make new friends as well that are in younger years.
It's been really great for our school. One of the things we're able to do now, we've expanded the program greatly, so much so that students now run a cafe with some of the produce they produce, and actually some of our senior students collect produce that's excess to the gardens and kitchens requirements, and then sell it to local cafes and even the CWA as a community learning experience.
It's about a lot more than healthy eating. It's about a lot more than that. It teaches them to be conscious of their environment from a young age. It also teaches them about sustainable living, about using what you have, making the most of what you've grown, and minimizing your waste. Eating with the seasons is another thing that the kids learned, and I remember my children learning. Sensory experiences of getting your hands into the dirt, nurturing plants with different textures and feels. Some are a bit prickly, some are soft and smooth, they have different smells. A lot of children haven't had experience with that sort of thing.
I have lots and lots of wonderful stories that I receive from parents about how happy they are that their kids are cooking because they've found a passion for it at home now, and they're making delicious breakfasts and lunches, and they're just always creating new things.
I've volunteered since 2012. I think it inspires kids, gives them skills, and the kids for fun.
I like the program because you can integrate so much of your curriculum into the kitchen garden. Hands-on experiences just bring so much to their learning. It's also had a major impact in literacy and numeracy with regards to weighing vegetables, measuring ingredients. They also like the idea of getting into the garden and doing that whole hands-on experience and seeing things grow over a period of time.
Our wider community gets involved in the Kitchen Garden program by participating in our Saturday markets, coming to our restaurant at Pumping Pizza Restaurant. We sometimes do takeaway pizzas, which they come and do. We've held community working bees. We did that at the beginning of the year, and that really brought everybody together. We had donations from the local pub and different other businesses, and people that didn't even have kids at our school came, and that was really nice to be able to come together. It was a perfect way to get to know the community.
The eating and the trying of new food and doing that in a social environment is a really positive thing. My boys, one in particular, is a little bit of a, plain eater. So he's coming home with ideas of things he'd like to try. So that for me is a great thing.
Over the past 20 years, there have been so many people who have contributed to our present success. There have been educators, there have been principals, there have been parents, and there have been thousands of children who have reinforced the importance of the program. There have been both federal and state governments. We've had great success from corporate and philanthropic partners, and we have wonderful associations with other organisations who all want to see people enjoying their food and looking after the planet.
We love the kitchen garden!